Downtown Milwaukee is the site for the most important annual international gymnastics event held in the U.S. Every event has added importance right now, with the Olympics less than 5 months away. Some who'll be competing inside the Fiserv Forum today have already booked a ticket to Tokyo. Others hoping to help their cause with this event. The 6-time U.S. all-around champ, Sam Mikulik, is expected to lead the American team there. Today, he tries to win this for the second time. NBC Sports presents the 2020 American Cup. 12 of the top gymnasts from around the globe have come here to Milwaukee to compete in an event that's been around since the 1970s, the 45th edition of the American Cup. Terry Gannon alongside Olympic champs Nastia Liukin, Tim Daggett, right to floor with James Hall, the 24-year-old from Great Britain.
Actually a very accomplished gymnast. His best placing was 8th in the world in 2018. He described that as being over the moon for him.
Third straight year competing here at the American Cup. He was second back in 2018 and 5th last year. Hope you caught this afternoon's action here with the women. Morgan Hurd winning the gold medal here at the American Cup. Another step along the way to trying to make the Olympic team in a trip to Tokyo.
Now on floor exercise for Great Britain, James Hall.
So here we go.
I always hate to even say this, but he self-describes himself as a little bit lumbering and lethargic. No fast twitch muscle. And he has done an unbelievable job disguising that, if that's the case. Great mount, double-double. Wow. 2 perfect landings. Make that 3. Combination tumbling on the men's side on floor. You need those, they're called connections, and they give you extra tenths of a point. You also have to do something like this, a non-acrobatic element. A lot of gymnasts get it through a press to a handstand or some type of circular motion on the floor. Triple full. Pretty darn good.
Really good. Great start for him. You know, of course, we keep talking about the Olympic year 2020. You can't miss it, you know, and so for him to have a great opening routine here has to make him, give him a little bit of confidence going into this Olympic year. Anytime you go out there, especially in an international competition, you want to put a good show on for the entire world to see.
And has become the leader of the British men's program over the last few years. Take you over to pommel horse and the veteran, 26 years of age, from Ukraine, Oleg Vernayev, who was the all-around silver medalist in Rio.
Yeah,
so close.
Yes, it was so close. A lot of people thought it should have maybe gone the other way, but he hopped on his last dismount on high bar, and King Kohei Uchimura retained his title. Really nice. Now check this out right here. Puts his hand down, does a full spin on that one arm. Very difficult. Judges are looking for good rhythm on the swing, also for an open body, so no pike in his hips is what they want to see. Oh boy. And very good save. This is a jam-packed routine. There's no filler in that routine either. He survives, and that's a good, very good start for Oleg. Can be better if he had kept his legs together, but still very good.
You know, I know for the women starting on balance beam is always a little bit more nerve-wracking because the nerves are much higher at the start of the competition. Is that what it was like for you? and some athletes on the men's side for pommel horse?
Well, some athletes hate it, but you know, there are athletes. I actually liked it. I always felt like there was a time where at least one hand was on the equipment.
All right, check out the numbers and what they mean. Break this down for us in terms of the deductions.
Well, what you're looking at is out of the 10.0, if you have 1.6 deductions or less, that's a really well-executed routine. We'll see a lot of them in the yellow, and we'll see some of them in the red, which is something you want to avoid.
Yeah. Hall getting us started. And get the numbers for him and Vernayev, and then Renee Cornwallet from Canada, the 22-year-old from Quebec, ready to go. Man earned an individual spot in the Tokyo Olympics already with his all-around qualification result at the World Championships last year.
Like money, double twisting double, just perfectly stuck. I actually think he's a little better than his placements in international competitions have shown. Really clean gymnast, takes his time. A little bit of a hop on that. Any hold position in men's gymnastics has to be completely still for 2 full seconds. And that was pretty good. That one he shouldn't have given away. Just a simple double full down the side. He'll want that back. Full twisting double. Oh boy. And
Stepped out of bounds as well. You see, well, we saw at least, looking at it live, the yellow flag went up.
Man who's a veteran as well, has competed at the World Championships 4 different times and earned a spot already at the Olympics in Tokyo. So underway here, the opening rotation of 6 tonight in Milwaukee. Glad to have you with us once again. Terry Gannon alongside Nastia Lukin and Tim Daggett. We saw a shot, brief one, of Sam Mikulek, who's won this event. It was back in 2014. He's also 6-time U.S. all-around champ. He's been there, done that, but now maybe last chance for the Olympics. And where is he now?
Well, exactly, and this is kind of now or never for him. As you mentioned, he's won an American Cup, numerous national titles. He has competed at many world championships, the Olympics, but he wants Olympic success, and the success for him means individual medals, and so he is so capable of doing that, but he just has to deliver under pressure on that international stage. I feel like we say it every single time when we talk about him, but he is so close. He is so capable of being up there on top.
Talk about him, but also the American who's here, Shane Wiskus, who had a big experience this past year. He made it to the World Championships. It's been important for his confidence.
It absolutely has, and he's done great as of late. 2018 and 19, he was the runner-up at the NCAA Championships, and most recently at the Winter Cup was second behind Sam Mikulek. That was a big move for him. He is an up-and-coming young man.
2-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Year. Goes to Minnesota, grew up just down the road from that campus, and now here on this stage trying to prove, well, he knows he belongs. He found that out at the World Championships, just to being a part of that, but now trying to do something special here against some of the top names in the world. Oleg Vernayev from the pommel horse, 14.533, the opening number for him, and Cornwallet from Canada, 13.733 on floor exercise.
That was a huge number for Oleg, though. He has just a monstrous maximum potential score on horse.
And take a look at those deductions. So just under 2 points in the women's competition earlier. That's pretty much what we saw all across the board. A little bit more if there were obviously more mistakes, but not too many scores in the green.
And that yellow, 13.966 for Hall. Over to the 2-time NCAA all-around runner-up. 21-year-old from Spring Park, Minnesota, Shane Wiskus.
Said it was so important to him to go to college close enough so that he could still have the support system of his family. He started gymnastics with his mom in a parent-child program and says it helps him to be close to home. Nice mount, a little slide backwards, double front with a half turn. Pretty good, double-double.
Good landing there.
He's a very confident young man at this point in his career. I was super impressed with him, as you were mentioning, Terry. He was on the world team in 2019 for the U.S. And a lot of athletes, when they get to that stage for the first time, you just never know what's going to happen. He looked like he'd done it 10 times before.
And he actually said that that competition specifically gave him so much confidence going into this Olympic year and really made him believe that he belonged at competitions like that.
His dismount. Triple twist, pretty good. Little bit low with his chest on the landing, but that is mission accomplished for Shane Wiskus.
Said that experience at Worlds was surreal, competing against the top names in the world, but part of the qualifying and then in the team final on floor and high bar as well. The U.S. came in 4th. Rising junior at the University of Minnesota. Over to the man who's won the all-around title in the U.S. 6 times, Sam McCulloch, 27 years old now. Won this event back in 2014. Coming off the flu last week, said he wasn't 100%, but feeling pretty good this week.
And this event, along with 3 others, including the all-around. So that's another one where Sam McCulloch could easily be on the podium in Tokyo. He is that good. This is the trickiest part right here, up to a handstand. He's gotten much better at dealing with that when he's not perfectly on. Very solid routine thus far. Just wants to zoom right up to a handstand here. Oh, boy. And that wasn't what he wanted to do, but it's not going to be disastrous at all. He was supposed to come off on the other side of the horse.
Going into this competition, he said that his mindset is a lot of perfect practice, wanting to compete the way that he trains.
Always has a mindset, a mantra that he goes with, right?
He does.
Comes up with some line to say, this is what I'm focused on right now. Shane Wiskus, 14.033. What do you think?
That's pretty good for him. Absolutely. What we've seen so far, every judging panel is different. So it might be really tight on floor and then a little bit looser on rings. You just never know.
There's a teenager from Japan who was a big part of their effort at the World Championships. 18-year-old Daiki Hashimoto on floor. It was his first major senior international event, the Worlds.
He's a high schooler. Saw him stick that pass so many times this week. Really good twister.
A little short on every landing.
That's surprising because he had no problems.
You know, better there, but almost seemed like he was just really going for the stick, under-rotated both of those opening passes.
The head coach for the Japanese men said that he exceeded my expectations and won himself international recognition, and he's become an essential member of Team Tokyo.
When we talked to him yesterday, he said, we asked if he makes the Olympic team, if his family will be there to watch him compete, and his response was, they haven't been able to get tickets yet.
And it was good, but he can be a lot cleaner. A lot of hopping around right there.
Not really difficult routine, but just those landings giving up way too much on that execution. And we'll take a look when we get the score, but Not going to be in the green.
So this opening rotation underway here in Milwaukee. Get his number, and then there's the mark 13.8 for Sam McCulloch in his attempt to win this for the second time. The American Cup is brought to you by American Cruise Lines. Cruise close to home with American Cruise Lines. By Michelob Ultra, who reminds you to enjoy responsibly. And by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. Turning to evening here in Milwaukee. Check the score for Daiki Hashimoto of Japan, 13.666.
And just a lot of hopping around. You see that 2.334 in deductions out of a perfect 10. Too many hops.
All right, so the effort from Sam McCulloch we saw. On we go to the second rotation here. One in the books. Only Vernayev on top as we continue from Milwaukee.
Before a competition, but as you mentioned, Terry, he told us he is just fine, nothing to worry about.
In an Olympic year, though, we talked about that with him, you know, every day seems like it's a race against time, and you're trying to get as much done and in and be confident by the end of the day in what you did with your training.
And that's what he said. He said there is so much more stress, and he's always wondering, is my every day as good as it needs to be?
So over to pommel horse, got that and the still rings here in the second rotation. The 27-year-old from Switzerland, Pablo Breger.
Really like his gymnastics, has a very clean style. Never looks rushed, except for right there.
Jinxed him.
Yes, and he's probably a little frazzled right now because he did not do the skill he wanted to, and will lose a whole bunch of difficulty because of that. He wanted to stay on the one pommel for a couple more circles and just was off balance. Up to the handstand, but that's not going to be a number that he's going to enjoy looking at. No major mistake, no fall, but it's going to be close to a point lower than he's capable of getting.
Now, Switzerland earned their Olympic team quota spot at the Olympics with their effort at the World Championships. Over to rings now. Hu Shuwei, the 23-year-old from China, second World Cup event for him. If you weren't with us this afternoon, we told the story about how the athletes from China didn't come straight here from China.
No, they didn't. They were actually in Doha prior to this for 2 weeks. And Hu Shuwei, he did not have a good first event. Came off the pommel horse, and, you know, so many times the Chinese, both the men and the women, have come to this American Cup, and they are just way too good to finish where they repeatedly finish. It's a long trip. There's no question about that. They didn't come from China this time, but it was still very far away.
And you know, normally when you go to a World Championships or an Olympic Games, you get there at least a week or two ahead to get acclimated, get adjusted to the time change. And this competition is such a quick turnaround. They're really only here a day or two before.
Double twisting double. Yesterday I was watching him in training, and I went up and talked to the interpreter and said, is he injured? I saw him on floor, and I said, what's wrong with him? And he said, no, he's fine. He's just very tired.
Yeah, we watched all afternoon, and it did appear that he has some sort of injury, but just fine, healthy here.
They have a skill, the Chinese, that they do it very differently. He did that double flip in the straight position. And I'm not a fan of the way the Chinese do it at all. And I believe it should be a big deduction. They don't get far enough around. And it is just brutal on the shoulders as well.
Can I tell you, how is it not brutal on the shoulders anyway? I mean, you watch that. That's first thing that jumps out.
I was wondering the same thing,
Oh,
Terry.
my gosh. Pablo Breger, 12.933, so sub 13 on pommel horse.
Yeah, it's actually a better score than I thought he was going to get. Lost a lot of difficulty points, though.
So the man tied for third after that opening rotation. James Hall started on floor, now pommel.
Pretty good start, right up to that handstand. Pretty good body position on it as well. So this is the skill, basically the combination that we've seen people fumble on. He held on, but had a form deduction. Not an event that he's really natural at, I would say, but definitely manufactured a good routine there. Can be better, as you see from the facial expressions. Doesn't have as much distance between his legs and hips and the pommel horse. The judges are looking for a lot of extension of the body.
So Shuei 13.733 for his effort on rings. Going to go over there right now, and they're working on the shoulders of Oleg Vernayev.
Yeah, a lot. Base.
That does not look comfortable.
Yeah, no, but it's exactly what you've got to do. You got to get in there and kind of dig it up. And he's feeling pain now, but he will feel less on the apparatus with that work. There's no question. After 2016, he has had a slew of injuries and surgeries to fix himself up, and the most major one was on his shoulder. Pretty good start. Each one of these strength parts has to be held 2 seconds. Little bit high. See, his shoulders are not all the way down on that iron cross, but that was a little short for sure.
And everything.
Also double for him. Excellent. Great in the air. So much power at the end of that routine. Could have probably invested a little bit more energy in holding all of those strength parts to a perfect 2 seconds.
Two-time Olympic medalist, finally got his all-around medal at the World Championships. Bronze in 2019. Pommel horse number for James Hall, even 14. So we send it over to Andrea Joyce.
Hey, Terry, we all know that the coronavirus outbreak has been dominating the news lately, and it's definitely having an impact on sporting events around the world, including this American Cup. Just a little over a week ago, both of the Russian gymnasts who were scheduled to compete here withdrew. That includes 2019 World All-Around Champion Nikita Nagorny and Lilia Akimova. They expressed health and travel concerns on social media. You just talked about the impact on the Chinese team doing their training in Doha the last 2 weeks, and after this competition, instead of going home, they will travel to Chicago to get their visas for their next competition in England later this month. Meantime, here in Milwaukee, I've talked to a lot of athletes over the last couple of days. Haven't noticed any high level of anxiety, but Terry, definitely everyone is taking those moderate precautions. Back to you.
Yeah, Andrea, coronavirus continuing to be a top story. Obviously, speculation on the Tokyo Olympics this week. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach said the IOC remains fully committed to the success of the Olympic Games. I'd like to encourage all the athletes to continue their preparation with great confidence, with full steam. So planning at least for everything to go ahead as scheduled. Oleg Vernayev, 14-1-3-3 on rings.
That's one of the first greens we've seen there.
Right.
He survives. I guess the massage worked.
Shoulders survived too? Good to go?
No, they hurt.
Oh, okay. All right, you said Sam was just fine after that opening rotation, so about 0.7 of a point off the lead in 5th place. Here he goes, Mikulik.
So once again, looking for perfect positions. Everything has to be level, and they all need to be held for 2 seconds. This first one is a Maltese right there. Pretty good. Actually excels in this position. That one's called a planche. And of course, the iron cross. Only allowed to do 3 strength elements, and then you need to add in a swing element like he did, that double flip forwards. Gorgeous lines he has. A little bit of a swing, which is unusual for him, but he is a sticking machine on this dismount. It's unbelievable.
Good call.
Yeah, well, nobody sticks more of those in the world than Sam Mikulik. Nobody.
I was waiting for your famous line, Tim. That would have been the perfect moment.
It's too early.
He has plenty more.
Plenty of time. We got a lot of time left.
So remember, all of the strength parts, 2 seconds. We'll look at this. 1 1,000, 2 1,000.
And here's that famous stuck landing that he does so well. Double twisting, double back. Beautiful position in the air, and look at him, just spots the ground. Perfect.
Well, he finishes both the twist and the flip so early that he's able to see the ground and put his feet exactly where he wants them to go.
Cheering on Shane Wiskus right now is getting set to go on pommel horse, and just like at home, which is part of that mantra this year. Perfect practice and compete like you practice. So from the man who had a great career at the University of Michigan to the man who still attends University of Minnesota, Shane Wiskus, 2nd place after the opening rotation.
And you know, I had the opportunity to watch him grow up in the sport, and I'll tell you, he was really coming up in the junior level and was excellent on horse, but he always would seem to struggle on this event. And you know, it was unfortunate because he was very, very good, but he just let the nerves get to him. Since he's gotten to college, so much better at dealing with the nerves. Nice travels, forward and backwards. Zoom up to that handstand. Very nicely done. That is solid for Shane Wiskus. Doesn't have the highest level of difficulty, the highest maximum start score, but that was a great job for him.
You mentioned the junior level when he was there growing up, one of the many he admired most. Sam Mikulik, who he's competing with here in the American Cup. And Mikulik with his number into 3rd right now. Still waiting on that score for Wiskus. See where he ends up through this 2nd rotation at the American Cup in Milwaukee. Back here in Milwaukee a few moments ago on pommel horse, Taiki Hashimoto from Japan. Part of this 2nd rotation of 6 tonight.
Starts out with some huge flare work, and he'll turn his body the opposite direction that he's circling. Very tricky stuff. You know, he says, I know I'm the youngest, but I want to be known as one of the most experienced veterans, even though I'm young. A little bit off on that right there. And that right there was an error. Was supposed to stay on the pommel.
Oof.
And that's heartbreaking. The sad thing for him is he, in his first World Championships as a senior, He qualified for the event finals on pommel horse. He fell off on that exact same move in the finals.
You do something like that, does it become a mental block for you?
Well, it might
Yeah,
now.
Absolutely. I think one time in a competition, a mistake, you just kind of hope to brush it off and move on. But multiple times you have to think, can I deliver that skill under pressure? Maybe the pressure and the nerves, I don't know. It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, and he did exactly here what he did in Stuttgart in the finals. He fell on it, and then he went up and did it no problem at all. That's very disappointing for this young man, though.
And you know, Terry, I'm pretty sure in training he probably never misses that skill. So it's kind of going back to Sam's mentality of trying to practice and compete the same way.
Beautiful flare work, and he's turning his body. His legs are circling in one direction, and then he's turning his upper body the other way. Crazy. But right here, this is called a Tung Fei, named after the great Chinese gymnast, and he does that repeatedly, though. And I watch him do that in training, and I want to go down there and I want to say, get your hand down. He doesn't get his hand down quick enough on that, my opinion.
I've heard you yell it before. No.
I mean, I just think that he could give himself a much larger variance, a larger area to be able to make it if he got that hand down. His shoulders were back, though.
See the number and the color that is up there in red, 13.4. So he goes into 5th place. Shane Wiskus, 13.433. He goes into 4th, right behind Sam McCulley.
Now on pommel horse for Chinese Taipei, Li Chi-kai.
So from Chinese Taipei, Li Chi-kai. Boy, what a moment it was when Chinese Taipei earned that spot at the World Championships in the Olympics for the men's gymnastics team. It'll be the first time they'll have that entry in the Olympics since 1964, the last time the games were in Tokyo.
Yeah, unbelievable. They went from 17th as a team in 2018 to 6th. Just stratospheric rise, and a lot of it is because of this young man, and this horse routine you're going to see is off the charts. So great. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. We've called a few American Cups over the years death by pommel horse, and it's living up to its reputation. Does this so well, but just is completely off balance.
It's a man who's medaled twice at the World Championships on pommel horse.
Yeah.
Bronze and a silver.
Yeah, I mean, he is legitimately not just a contender to make the podium, but could challenge the best. Max Whitlock, who is still competing. He won the World Championships. He was the Olympic champion on pommel horse as well. This routine can challenge a Max Whitlock, but not with that fall. So exhausting. It's a bummer, you know? It's like I'm such a gymnastics fan and junkie, and I just love watching that routine. And I tell you, I've seen him do it so many times, and it'd be just spectacular.
Just in talking, is one of the things you were looking forward to this afternoon.
Yes, it was.
Been watching, so very disappointing for Li Chi-kai from Chinese Taipei. All right, meanwhile, Andreas Thoma, the 29-year-old from Germany, and gymnastics fans will remember from Rio. Remember this, in the floor during team qualifying at the Olympics.
Yeah, this was really bad. As you can see right there, landing that, and he's twisting into the ground. That was a torn ACL. But he wasn't done. Team Germany needed him to do one more pommel horse routine. Floor was their second to the last rotation. He went up there, hit a horse routine for Germany. They advanced to the team finals at the Olympic Games.
German press dubbed him Hero de Janeiro, and eventually opened a cafe called Heroes, which is apropos. His father was a 3-time Olympian for Germany. So getting set on pommel now.
Yeah, he says they actually trained together for a period of time, which he says can be very inconvenient when they take things home from the gym after a rough day.
When you've just seen what has taken place, the last two routines, what are you thinking?
You know, I
you're
always
him.
tried not to watch the person right before me for those exact reasons, trying to stay focused on yourself and visualizing your own performance. But it's also extremely difficult to do that sometimes in an arena like this where the crowd reacts. And obviously, the routine takes longer if there's a stop in the middle.
Michi Kai, the 13.941. Toba next.
But part of being a professional athlete, right?
Yeah.
Staying focused on yourself.
Now on Pommel Horse for Germany, Andreas Toba.
And he was part of the German team that earned a spot for Tokyo as a team. They got the coveted 12th.
Yeah, there was a lot of drama
position.
there, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Great fight. You want to be able to do your pommel horse routine even when you're off balance, when you're feeling a little sluggish, and he has not been perfect so far, but he's getting the main thing done. No falls. Gonna get a deduction for that. He should have just rocketed right up to a handstand. But that's still a hit.
So his first appearance here at the American Cup, which his dad won, by the way, back in 1988. So continuing that tradition here, 2020 on the road to Tokyo through this second rotation. Oleg Vernayev of Ukraine on top of the leaderboard. Sam Mikulik right there, though. Back with a reminder, if you're interested in getting involved in gymnastics, you can begin your gymnastics journey by going to sportsengine.com. Here you can find program information of local clubs in your area. Go now. A lot of great young athletes last night in the Nastia Lukin Cup. Successful once again. 11 years now?
11 years.
Very nice. American Cup today, Oleg Vernayev through two rotations in the lead. James Hall from Great Britain, and the two Americans, Sam Mikulik, Shane Wiskus.
Doing a great job. Absolutely.
Any major surprises so far?
Well, a little bit surprised at the score differential between Sam and Oleg Vernayev, I would say. I thought Sam certainly had an error on pommel horse, but I thought when looking at the other athletes that competed, probably a little too low.
Still rings involved, part of that next rotation, rotation 3. So we go over to rings, and James Hall from Great Britain, who lives in the southeast of England, and plans not only to be a part of the Tokyo effort, but also through the next Olympics too, and eventually become a police officer.
Pretty nice start. Looking to lock right in, show no hesitation, and the position shouldn't degrade at all over the 2 seconds. Should remain constant. That one's a little bit high. He arrived higher than the cross position. Probably lose 3/10 for that. And I don't like that. It's he is showing way too much support on the rings. He's supposed to be free of the rings, especially on the pike double front. Sometimes the judges can be so critical about that, and sometimes they just ignore it. It depends on the panel. But he'll take that. Double twisting, double somersault. Stuck cold, little bit chest down though, don't you think, Nastia?
Yep, absolutely. A little shaky on that last handstand going into it.
Great one.
Certain routines, you could hear coaches yell out instructions there. As an athlete, you even hear that?
Well, you're technically not allowed to as a coach, so hopefully it was maybe a teammate or
Maybe
something.
it's a team,
but
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it depends. I literally only heard two people, our head coach and my dad, and I didn't hear anybody else in the audience.
You could hear it right
Yes.
there. Yeah. Oleg Vernayev now on vault.
And he has the opportunity to extend his lead, believe it or not, because he does an uber difficult vault 3 times around. The last flip, he'll add a half turn right at the end. Crazy.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. And it's amazing how well he does this vault consistently.
The inquiry on
Wow, that was great.
Chinese Taipei has been rejected. Will be no
For
change.
example, he has a 4/10 buffer over both Shane Wiskus and Sam McCulloch on vault because the vault is graded higher. So 3 times around from the board all the way right there, half turn, spots the ground. First time I saw this done, I said, this sport is getting out of hand. It was a guy named Marian Dragulescu from Romania who is actually still competing. He's been around forever now. He earned his spot to Tokyo by being in the event finals at World Championships in 2019.
It's so interesting to see the way that different people prepare before they go vault. I was just looking at Oleg right before the judges were ready for him, and he was literally sitting on the podium. You know, a lot of people like to get up, move around, and get their bodies loose and warmed up, and he was just very calmly sitting there
I would prepare by praying a lot.
for a vault like that.
See the number for him, and then James Hall on rings 14-1-3-3. Those were the top 2, remember, after the 2 rotations. And this man was right behind in 3rd place.
So I don't expect this to happen, but in warm-ups, he actually under-rotated and sat his first one of these, and then he did one more, and he didn't sit it down, but it was darn close to not making it as well. He's been doing this since he was about 15 years old, though.
Now on vault for
He was
USA.
a phenom as a youth gymnast. Go. No problem. Sam used to do an extra half turn, which would be the same. Yeah, much better. You hear that? Yeah. Which would be the same maximum score as we just saw from Oleg. He tore his Achilles a couple of years ago, competing on floor exercise. I don't think we'll see that ever again from him. 2.5, spots the ground there, and just a little slide back, but pretty clean, pretty extended.
You know, and minus those few that you saw in warm-up earlier, this vault seems so consistent for him throughout the last few years, just more than just few years, but it's just like he just needs to put a check by it, you know, get vault over with and on to the next.
He did miss it last year one time, I believe, and it was shocking to him, he said, but I can't remember the last time that happened.
You're allowed to get P-bars going a little ahead of schedule.
And it was a star as a child, as you said, the son of former Cal gymnast, as we take you over to Shane Wiskus, currently in 4th place after the first 2 rotations.
And there was a little bit of controversy around Shane getting this nomination for the American Cup. Initially, it was announced that Yul Moldauer would try to defend his title that he has 3 years in a row. coach Mark Williams reached out to me, and he thought that it was very unfair and was communicated a different story. This is great so far, though, for Shane. I'll try to swing right up to a handstand. A little bit of a check there, not bad. Also the double-double, like we've seen from Sam. And it's really good, but probably a 3/10 step back, because I would say they'll say it's more than shoulder width apart. The reason I think Shane doesn't land this quite as consistently is he's still twisting and flipping kind of right as he's getting to the ground, whereas Sam is all done with everything and can just chill out, put his feet down.
So take a look at this dismount, Tim, as you were mentioning. Watch how late that he is twisting.
He gets it done.
He gets it done, yeah, absolutely. He's not going to get it devalued by any means, but comparing it to Sam's, it's almost like Sam really floats in the air for a half second before his feet hit the ground.
Yeah, all the action is like finished, and he's able to just plant it.
Business marketing major with a minor in communications at Minnesota. Had his best semester academically, actually, on all the busy times of the World Championships. Ended up on the dean's list. He's 21 years old.
Missed 18 days of school.
I know,
That's
right?
hard.
Yeah.
Catching up.
So Sam Mikulik went into second place with the vault. Vault's been pretty impressive to this point, huh?
Absolutely.
Two that we've seen. Vernayev has led from the start.
10 can get in. You gotta be honest.
And Oleg actually has, you know, his best event coming up, but then his next two events aren't that good. High bar is probably, it is his weakest event, whereas Sam Mikulik is going to parallel bars, and he's excellent there. He's phenomenal potentially on high bar and tremendous on floor as well.
So over to rings, and Daiki Hashimoto, who is currently in 6th place.
A lot of people think he could potentially be the heir apparent to the great Kohei Uchimura. He needs to get a little stronger on rings. This was excellent, beautiful position, but some of the other positions are a little questionable. Sometimes they're stronger in meets. Let's see, he arrived way too high on that. He should land in that cross, not in a higher support. Actually not going to do what I saw him training, a more difficult strength part, and I would say that is a very smart decision for this young man. And you see, I criticized somebody earlier about that. He shows no support on the rings midway through.
Oh. Beautiful dismount.
Yeah. And he does the same type of thing that Sam does. He gets everything done so early, and he's spotting the ground.
Almost kicks out of it a little bit with his arms. So let's compare. Looking where he finishes twisting those 2 flips, 2 twists. In a tuck position, so 1, 2, and look at that, just spots the ground.
Absolutely. Great job, but I'll tell you, he had some struggles. You know, some of those handstand positions were not great.
Got his opportunity at those World Championships because Kohei Uchimura, Kenzo Shirai could not be there, stepped in, took advantage in a big way. Waiting for the number now. It's been Oleg Vernayev who has led from the start. Mikulik making his way up into second. And then Shane Wiskus checking the number currently into 4th place.
And he actually ended up having an even bigger role because Wataru Tanigawa hurt his ankle in the training leading up. So he had to jump in and do floor exercise, for example, and delivered.
Saw the reaction to that number, 13.9 on rings for Daiki Hashimoto. The 18-year-old from Japan. Oh, they're beyond the massage. I mean, we're going all out right now. Hey, it's worked. Been terrific so far in Milwaukee. It's a man who's been the best of anybody so far here in Milwaukee. Oleg Vernayev. A little chilly here this week. Got the jacket on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the most accomplished gymnast in this competition by far. Just so many different titles, long and glorious routine.
Just giving some shout outs. Was just trying to pick up on what he was saying.
What was he saying? Could you tell?
Telling people hello.
You know you weren't going to tell us exactly what it is. Yeah.
Well, Tim was talking over him, so.
Andreas Toba in 12th after that second rotation. Taking a look up at still rings, getting set to go.
Now on rings for Germany, Andreas Toba.
The other aspect, though, these athletes, maybe not a Shane Wiskus, he was at the World Championships, so a lot of them, they know each other so well. They've competed against each other so often, right?
Yeah, and you know, I always say it. People come up to me and they say, everybody seems so friendly. How is that possible? Well, gymnastics, there is no defense.
Right.
So, you know, you can't go up there and tackle Sam off the pommel horse or Oleg off parallel bars. So it kind of makes it, you know, a little friendlier, I would say. Actually, very nice start there. This one, his position is not as good. He's a little too low. So 3 strength parts. Now you got to swing. And once again, he shows too much support midway through that skill. James Hall, though, really didn't look to suffer the consequences of that. Just the dismount. Pretty good, but so to get the difficulty that he's looking for, he wants to do this double back with a full twist and keep his body completely board straight. And if he doesn't, every angle of hip, every hip angle, you know, the more it is, the bigger the deduction, and that should be significant.
Take it back over to vault now. Hu Shu Wei, the 23-year-old from China.
Oh, boy. And I believe he's going to do a triple twist, which is a lot to get around here. And he's not, thank goodness. That was catastrophically bad right there.
From the start, from the run, it almost seemed like he was just not running full speed.
Wow. I mean, like I say it, they're just... The athletes that come here, they are just so much better, more capable than they're prepared, than they compete at the American Cup. Typically can do a triple twist there at another full turn, and if he had, it would have been really sketchy.
Which, if you hadn't seen him ever do that yourself, you probably wouldn't really believe that after seeing this ball right here.
Remember, though, they have been out of sorts, you know, 14 days in Doha.
The uncertainty, at least coming in for the last 2 weeks, of not knowing when they're going home, too. And now have figured that out at least. 13-6-3-3, Andreas Toba from Germany as we continue here. The American Cup, Milwaukee. Back with a reminder, tomorrow celebrate International Women's Day with NBC Sports all-female crew. Defending champ St. Louis Blues facing off against the Chicago Blackhawks. Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern on NBC SN. So you got the broadcast team, production team. In terms of the broadcasters, you got 3 Olympic gold medalists included there. Pretty special. That's tomorrow, Blues and Blackhawks. So we continue here with the American Cup. Hu Shu Wei, 12.3 the total for the effort on vault. So we carry on here in Milwaukee. Terry Gannon back with Nastia Lukin and Tim Daggett doing our best tonight, but really the big-time broadcasters, they were part of a broadcast on February 8th. Oklahoma's win over Iowa. Let's see your reaction. Yes, it was Tim Daggett with his son Peter in the booth. Yeah, there's the picture right there. You want to listen in? We got a little clip. Okay. What are you oh-godding about?
Yeah,
Come on.
sure.
All right, listen in.
Huge double pike to get started, but buckle up for this pass. A laid out double twisting double back. Gorgeous, and he sticks it. Wow.
That was money. Yikes.
Some nice connection work there.
All of these athletes on the floor, phenomenal. Look at this full twisting butterfly.
Very cool.
In 2020. Just incredible power. Look at this double twisting double layout, and bam.
Gorgeous.
Sooner TV. Yeah, you heard it right there. I want to get your comment, but I'm going to comment. Now,
my comment is just, it's so nice of you to let him in so much.
He actually told me, Dad, you better let me in. I said, of course I will, son. He was stealing my moves, though, left and right. All of my catchphrases.
Steal my job. Yeah, exactly. It was pretty good. That had to be a thrill, though.
Oh, it was one of the funnest things I've ever done.
Yeah, I bet. This isn't that much fun with it.
No. Actually, this might be a little bigger. No, it was really, really special. I coached him for his entire career as a junior, and getting to go out there and do that with him at his alma mater, awesome.
Pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right. Well, what do you think about Oleg Vernaev's been the man so far tonight? Not unexpected. I mean, you talk about what he's done coming in his career, but he's been terrific.
Oh, he absolutely has been, and it's been rock solid. If you look at what happened, though, Sam Mikulik opened the door a little bit with that falter on pommel horse, but it's going to come down to the last two events. Not this event, parallel bars. Both of these guys, Sam and Oleg, are spectacular. Oleg, Olympic champion on this event, but when we get to high bar, Sam has a huge advantage, and that's where he needs to capitalize.
Think back to last year and what Sam Mikulik did coming in second, but it was so close. Yul Moldauer won it, as you mentioned, but it was 1,000th of a point. That's how close it was last year.
Now on parallel bars for USA, Sam Mikulik.
So parallel bars and Mikulik getting set now.
And you see he's putting, that was honey that he put on his hands. He also puts it on the bars. It helps to help him get a better grip. He has one skill that troubles him from time to time. It's called a peach with a half. And I saw him struggling on it here. He's capable of doing it great. Very nice there. Great. Here we go. He deals with that. A little bit shy of the handstand on it, though. And this is awesome, right? This combination here. Now check this out. From one end to the other. Woo. It's called a Bafsar, named after great American gymnast Raj Bafsar, who is now helping out at USA Gymnastics. I think he'll do a great job with the junior program. Double front half. Just like always. Unbelievable. One of the best stickers of all time in the sport of gymnastics, and I'm not throwing that out casually. He truly is.
Real dry.
So here's that skill I said. Raj Bafsar originated this from one end all the way to another. You see, he clipped his foot.
But take a look at this dismount. As Tim mentioned, just no matter how high, how low he is, or even didn't quite finish that twist in the air like he did on rings, but was able to spot that ground and stick the landing.
That's what he does so well. He sees the ground so well, and some gymnasts are just not capable of doing that. You train them, and they just, when it gets to that moment, they get a little nervous, antsy, and they lose sight of the ground.
So McCulloch in second after 3 rotations. Shane Wisk is currently in 4th, ready to go on vault.
He'll do the same exact vault we saw from Sam, and he actually can do it just as well, sometimes even a little cleaner.
Almost had that stick.
Yeah, that was excellent, though. I would say his legs were a little straighter in the air, maybe a little bit more power as well. This is a Katsamatsu with an extra full twist, so it's actually 2.5 twists around, and he's going for that landing. Good block off the table, nice height. I've seen him stick that vault many, many times.
U.S. vault champ 2019. Not going to earn points in terms of that all-around World Cup series here, and then you get an extra entry if you're the U.S., the host nation, but making the most of this. 14.366 the number here.
Pretty good.
For right now, at least. Into second place, right behind Sam McCulloch, who's got 14.666.
And you know, you see that 1.7 in deductions. I didn't know if the judges would think he hit the bar. If you hit with any part of your body other than your hands, then it's supposed to be a 0.5 point off. I don't know if they actually did all of that. Maybe a combination. Some of them did and some of them didn't.
Daiki Hashimoto from Japan waiting for parallel bars to finish for his effort on vault.
Seems to be having a problem with his jacket.
Got it now. We got some help. Yeah.
And he's going to do a very exciting vault. I said that the Chinese gymnast was potentially going to do that triple twist. He's going to do this, and he can do it great, but it is not easy, that's for sure. Yesterday, I saw him do this vault, and I would say 95% of the people in the world could not have landed like he did and not gotten hurt. It was really scary, but he was fine. A lot to get done in one piece of air. Double back somersault, laid out, and then with 3 full twists, really hard. Oh, boy. And that is just how it has looked here. And boy, does that ever hurt your ankles like you can't even imagine.
Not unlike yesterday's in practice, and maybe shaken up a little bit. Yeah, as he walks off, Daiki Hashimoto will check on him as we continue from Milwaukee. Back to remind you, beginning July 24th, 2020, the Olympic Games return live from Tokyo on NBC. This event here in Milwaukee, all part of the lead up to those games. So they continue to work on the leg of Daiki Hashimoto after that fall.
Yeah, and you know, it's cumulative. He took a really bad landing yesterday, and then this one just as bad. And I can't tell you how much something like that hurts to come in that short. I mean, I literally, if I took a landing like that, I would have not been able to walk. And I don't know how he is.
And I think what's also a little bit deceiving are the mats. You know, they're really not that soft, especially at a competition like this. They're brand new, not broken in, as we like to say. And it hurts.
Yeah, that wasn't even close, though. He had nowhere near enough rotation. And, you know, the really bad thing that can happen is gymnastics. You're twisting and flipping into the ground. That's bad.
They're trying to assess that injury and see if he can continue. It's going around, though. That's what happens, I mean, in this sport. It's the other shoulder right now for Oleg, though. They're working out. Back in a moment. Parallel bars ready here. Part of rotation number 4. Hu Shu Wei in 12th place after 3 rotations.
Has not had a good day. Came off on the pommel horse and then didn't do the vault he was planning on doing and came up short on it as well. This should be a great routine, though. Very difficult element right there. Nicely done. That was great. And once again, I don't get it. It's, I mean, yes, that's a really hard skill. Super, super difficult. Front up rise into a Diamondov. But it almost looked to me like he could have made that. He could have pulled himself back into the middle of the bars. Yes, he's way down on the leaderboard, but I would have personally liked to have seen a little more fight there. Big release. Once again, you can see the gymnastics is there. I mean, he's a very accomplished gymnast, but
wow.
That's a complete fall. Also, another full point, and he'll lose the difficulty value of that skill.
You have to just wonder when you see an athlete have a day like this. You know, mistakes are obviously going to happen to everybody, but so many errors in one competition and things, Tim, as you kind of mentioned, that could maybe have been saved. That was a slip of the hand, or
yeah, but
if he's just lost track a little bit mentally.
Yeah, I think so, you know.
It's part of being an athlete at this level to not let this happen. Early mistake to not let that compound into many.
Absolutely, and you know, again, no matter what place you're in, right? You know, always having to finish a competition in the best way that you can.
So now to a man who won the gold medal in the parallel bars back in 2016. Oleg Vernayev, take you back to that moment.
He was second in the all-around to what many people believe Kohei Uchimura, the greatest of all time. But right there, that was his moment. He finally did it. He got Olympic gold, and it was well-deserved.
First gold medal of the games for Ukraine, and now in first place after 3 rotations here in Milwaukee.
And not that you get points for being nice, but one of just the nicest, hardworking guys that I've gotten to know, you know, over the years competing and just always trying to help others, cheer for others.
He's a class act. There's absolutely no question about that.
26
years old now. How long can he do this?
Well, it's tough to say, obviously, with all the injuries that he has had and just even just this last year, but obviously we'll continue through Tokyo, and I would say that maybe another run, but
I think he'll try. This is his job. He is a professional athlete, and he travels all over the world, competes more than anybody, just constantly out there. You know, he can earn prize money at this competition as well as other major competitions throughout the world. And
mentioned the surgeries and the injuries, and all athletes deal with that, and all gymnasts deal with that, but he's had his share, including surgery on both ankles in 2019.
And a lot of people were saying, I can't believe he's coming back so soon again. He would just have had a surgery, and then it's like you turn around and Oleg's competing again, and it's like, what's going on?
And not just competing, but doing very well, too.
Well, his bronze medal in the all-around at the 2019 World Championships, that was shocking, I think, to everyone, including Oleg Vernayev, after what he has been through. Very nice, so solid. Oh boy, what a fight. And another great fight on that. So tricky to land on that single bar. So here we'll see one of those Bafsars again. Oh, actually, no, we won't. Oh, my.
Wow. Oh. Hello.
Wow. Now that you don't see often, especially on this event. I'm racking my brain. Never have I seen it from Oleg on parallel bars. Just misses the hand a little bit.
Almost looked like he landed on his finger on the parallel bar.
Really just has the dismount remaining. Same one we saw. Oh, you're going to repeat the element right there. Now the dismount, double front half.
He started that routine needing 13.5 to maintain his lead.
And that benefits this young man, Sam Mikulak, tremendously. Oleg just opened that door, not a creak, but wide open.
Now in vault for Great Britain.
Over to vault, James Hall in third place after rotation 3.
Planning to do the same vault that we saw from Shane and Sam Mikulak, that 2.5 twist.
Really great vault, but hard to tell from that angle a little bit. He did take one step outside that line, that white line. So we'll have some deduction there, but great vault.
Yeah, he's doing what he always does. He's a very stable gymnast. You can, he says, I'm known as Mr. Dependable. And he says, that's great, but I need to up my ante, do some harder gymnastics. That step over the line there, that'll be 1/10 for going outside the boundary and 3/10 for greater than shoulder width apart.
So some movement perhaps here in rotation 4. Hall was third after Vernayev and Mikulak. Shane Wiskus was in fourth, but the mistakes from Oleg Vernayev, 13.966, and hanging on, I believe. We'll check it officially when we come back. 2 rotations left here at the American Cup in Milwaukee. Shane Wiskus currently in 4th place. He's about 7/10 of a point out of 3rd right now. Another group moving over to high bar. That includes Sam Mikulak and Oleg Vernayev, the top 2. Vernayev with the lead still.
I'm sure this has thus far been a great experience for Shane. His second major international test, and so far he is passing absolutely with flying colors. He really makes everything look easy on this event, and it's not easy. He does really hard stuff. It's called a Healy, a full spin on one arm, very nicely done. Now his underbar work. A little bit crooked on that, kind of Baptist chest on the bar. Does this really well, typically. Oh, boy, but he clips his leg on the bar. He wasn't in a direct handstand right immediately prior. I don't think he had time to set up as well as he wanted to. Double front, small hop. It was good, but, you know, obviously all the judges saw and heard that.
I was going to say, sometimes you can get away with, you know, hoping that a judge didn't see or hear the clipping of the foot, but that one was obviously obvious.
Yeah. Just pull right off.
So this was earlier. Let's look at, I believe he kind of crunches on the bar, and you're not allowed to do that either. And then this is a big one. He just doesn't get it turned over quite enough, can't get those legs together. And you see he's bending his knees through the bottom, so he's got a lot of deductions on that one skill.
But the dismount, you know, of course, similar to what Sam McCulloch did, but without the extra half twist. Less in difficulty, but also it's more difficult because you're not spotting the ground.
Absolutely.
With that extra half turn.
Get that score in a moment while we wait. Andrea, do you have more?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's interesting because as you watch Shane, it's hard to believe that as a kid, he had a serious case of competition anxiety. He told us that when he was 12 years old, he would get to the high bar and literally cry because he was so terrified. So back then, he started working with a sports psychologist who gave him various tools to combat that anxiety, one of them being lots of forms of visualization, writing down goals, keeping journals. So it's not a surprise that at home and at school, he's got two different ones, two big whiteboards, and he calls it the countdown to when my dreams come true. Basically a countdown to when the Olympics begin. And Terry, he says that looking at that every single day helps him to embrace the pressure that he knows is going to keep building the next couple of months.
Yeah, you got to update it. 1:39 now to the opening ceremony, the days until.
He hasn't been home.
I know, you're right. 13.366. So he leads for right now.
That could have been worse. That could have been worse.
Daiki Hashimoto in fifth. About, what, 1.2 points behind Wiskus after that fourth rotation.
A little bit of a struggle right there once again. Beautiful lines, though. Great toes, knees. Here. He has struggled on this move in training, but he pulls it off. Very calm. Great so far. Double pike. Oh. Hopping all around on that landing, but that was pretty darn good up till that point.
So you've got that group on parallel bars and the group with Vernayev and McCulloch over on high bar as they wait to go. Reigning champ Nathan Chen looking to defend his crown against the world's best skaters. The World Figure Skating Championships from Montreal, March 18th on NBC and NBCSN. Nathan Chen has become the dominant force in men's figure skating. Great rivalry with Yuzuru Hanyu, two-time Olympic champ. Might be able to get it done in gymnastics. Another backflip in Gallon.
Shades of Scott Hamilton right there.
Exactly right. Good call on that one. So World's couple of weeks from now, back here in Milwaukee, Daiki Hashimoto 14.066 on parallel bars. Part of this fifth rotation. Hushu Wei, been a tough night for the 23-year-old from China, currently in 12th place.
But he's tremendous here, and I hope he competes up to his ability because, oh, and that was awesome. Boy, he catches the bar really late. And these are really critical. One more release. It's great so far. Got to go right to a handstand here, and that was
super low.
That was not.
Another really low handstand there.
Well, at least we're getting a hit set. Just the dismount. 2 flips, 2 twists.
There you go.
And pretty much a stick. I can't give that 100%, but he was kind of squirming around with his feet at the end. But so this has got the same name as the person I'm sitting next to. It's called a Lucan. It's not named after you,
Definitely
Nastia.
did not do that.
Valery, your dad, one of the all-time greats.
Get the number in a moment after that. You don't have to get that specific. Just leave it at Lucan. And then people can...
I think he'd be okay if I took credit for it.
Right? Yeah. Why not? Andreas Toba from Germany on parallel bars.
Good so far. Really nice Healy. Good extension and caught it pretty high up. Oh boy. It looks like we're seeing fatigue also from a lot of these athletes. That was good. You know, it started fantastic. You know, very few errors, but then, you know, had that problem. He doesn't have the same level of difficulty, the maximum starting score of an Oleg or a Sam.
But, you know, we
this
kind
event.
of saw it, on the women's side, but it is still early in the season. So many mistakes. Maybe the endurance isn't quite there yet. They're gearing up to the big competition of the year, obviously, the Olympics, which is much later. So it's you really have to pace yourself as you get ready for each competition.
Push away the number 4 him, and we've got Vernayev, we've got Mikulik, high bar. Continue with rotation 5. Sam looking to make a move right now. Sam Mikulik preparing here in rotation 5 for high bar. Remember what he did at the 2018 World Championships, still in search of that individual medal at the Worlds or the Olympics. The mistake late in the all-around on high bar came back in the apparatus final, did this.
But he is spectacular, potentially on this event. One of the very best in the world, has so much variety. And finally, he got his individual medal there with 2 of the greatest of all time, Epka Zonderland and Koei Uchimura.
And now waiting for his high bar to stay. You give him the edge here on this, or, I mean, he's very good on high bar here. So right now, Oleg Vernayev with that lead of a little less than half a point.
He is easily better than a half a point better than Oleg on high bar, if he does what he's capable of doing. And he won't even do his maximum difficulty.
Remember trying to win this for the second time, won it back in 2014, barely missed last year. Sam did, 1,000th of a point behind Yo Moldar. And this man has led throughout the afternoon and evening here. So parallel bars complete now, and the stage is set for Oleg Vernayev here in rotation 5.
We're going to see Sam do some really high flying and crazy releases. Oleg has got a bunch of releases, but he doesn't do the double backs over the bar with twists. Doesn't mean it's not difficult. Pretty good so far. Do another release here with a half turn at the end.
Really short there on that handstand. No hesitation there.
It's good. It's good. Very good for him, I would say. Oh boy, that was bizarre. That was unintentional. His tap for that wasn't the way he wanted it. He was supposed to keep his body completely stretched in the air, and he tucks up. Well, many gymnasts would have had a very bad outcome on that, but a little bit. That's supposed to land in a handstand as well. So let's look at the tap right here. Don't really know what happened because he doesn't do that. He typically does that with a straight body position.
Lost some of his lead on parallel bars. A little less than half a point up. We'll get his number momentarily. Over to those parallel bars with the man in third place, protecting that third place spot, James Hall, ahead of Shane Wiskus after the 4 rotations.
He's got some upgrades in his routine as well. Nice release right there. It's a very difficult element right here, and he did that great. No hesitation on that single rail, which a lot of athletes really struggle with. And that was gorgeous. Stutz to 1 bar. This is a guy that just sneaks up on the competition because he just is so steady. Oh, we've seen so many people go over on that Stutz handstand. Yeah, a good dismount. He could be about a half a point better on that routine.
So basically a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's a thumbs up, I would say.
Second a couple of years ago and 5th last year, Hall was the number 12, 866.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he doesn't have that maximum score is 15.2, as you can see. Sam's will be much higher, and he's not as clean, that's for sure. He should go ahead, and he should have a pretty sizable lead after this if he is the good Sam right here. This is one of my favorite routines in all of gymnastics. His high bar set. Starts right off the top here. Another one. Great. Now he'll try to connect these two together. You're not allowed to bend your arms. That was pretty good, though. A little short of the handstand.
Just with that one a little bit. Just the dismount.
Still very, very good. And if I'm judging this, he moves ahead of Oleg for sure.
Well, he would need 13.332.
Which, if he doesn't get that, I think the judges have gotten it wrong. The only really big error is he had to bend his elbows to get over the bar. Beautiful combination, though. Does this so well. He just flies over the bar. He's actually capable of also doing that Lukin, but here's where he connects them together. First reverse hex, so far from the bar, exactly how you want it. He was a little closer to the bar than he wanted to be there, and right there, that is a 5/10 of a point arm bend.
That dismount at the very end, so the same dismount Oleg was trying to do, 2 twists, 2 flips, but in a completely laid out position. You see his body totally open, chest up. Didn't quite get the Sam stick that we're so accustomed to, but great routine for him.
Yeah, he has a harder time sticking that because his routine is just so long and so very, very taxing.
So the two men atop the leaderboard right there throughout. 14.2. James Hall, though, with that number, just took the lead. So it changes what Sam needs to lead.
Yeah, I think temporarily, though, I would imagine that Sam's number is going to...
But he's ahead of Bernard.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's
yes.
big. James Hall, 13.633 is what you would need here to take the lead, Sam Mikulik. So Bernayev goes behind James Hall. We wait for that number from Mikulik. They continue to wait.
Yeah. Well, there could easily be discussion on this routine. There shouldn't be. You know, it's pretty cut and dry, but...
This group moves over to floor, close things out, and the other group, of course, moves to high bar.
And once again, if we're handicapping the field, Sam on floor is the best routine that's coming up in the last rotation, potentially.
So again, he needs 13.633 in order to take the lead over James Hall. And they have yet to post that number, and he's going over to get ready for the final rotation.
I'm really befuddled at what they could be talking about, but that's exactly what they're doing. So maybe the maximum score, the difficulty score is in question, but once again, it shouldn't be.
Well, taking a look at the judges across the floor, the high bar judges seem to be already done judging, so I'm not quite sure what the reason would be at this point.
So while they do that, they take some time to figure it out. Sam doesn't know yet either. Nobody does in the building. They haven't posted it. Step side, come back in a moment. Shimoto from Japan in 5th place after 5 rotations. So not 2.5 points out of the lead, but a little more than half a point behind Shane Wiskus, who's in 4th. Take a look at this on high bar a few moments ago.
He's beautiful on pipe, no question. Does the high flying releases, has great lines. Nice handstand right there. Same release we saw from Sam. Awesome. Really good. So clean. Really unfortunate he has not had the competition that I thought he was going to have. Just a joy to watch, though. Beautiful lines. Double-double. Hop forward. A troubling day for him, but he'll be back.
Going to compete in the World Cup event in Tokyo as well. Remember, this is the first of 4 in terms of the all-around leading up to the Olympics, part of the qualifying for countries at least. 14.225 the total. Hushuei, disappointing effort here in Milwaukee for him.
That was pretty good. There you go. And as I mentioned earlier, it was on floor that I was watching him yesterday, and I thought for sure that something was wrong with him. Injury-wise, it looked to me like an ankle, but they said no.
And by the looks of this floor routine so far, he seems to be just fine as well.
Pretty sure that pass, though, instead of a double tuck, was supposed to be a double twisting double, but Triple twist at the end. Oh, boy.
Just doesn't quite have the endurance, the power, the energy.
Wow. It was a long day for this young man. Kind of a little bit of a scary landing as well at the end there.
Remember, still to come on floor, Oleg Vernayev, who will be the next to go there, and Sam Mikulik back to back. Two of the top three. Still have James Hall, who will be on high bar. But to high bar we go right now in 11th place. Another disappointing performance for this man, Andreas Toba.
You know, we often see that at the American Cup. It's the first major international event. A lot of athletes come here from around the world and they say, you know, publicly, I'm not ready. I'm not in shape yet. But I thought it was going to be different this year as it's an Olympic qualifier. But this is the kind of gymnastics we have been seeing. And not just on the men's side, the women was equally problematic. Lots of falls.
And you know, the first competition of the year, you're certainly wanting to possibly try out those new skills or new routines that you might be using later in the year, but still just so many mistakes that I'm quite honestly not used to seeing on both the women's and the men's side.
Once again, you see the bent elbows on that giant.
For some, it might be back to the drawing board, reconstructing some of those routines. For others, it's just putting in some more numbers, some training more endurance.
Oh boy. That was surprising right there. I don't get it. It looked to be fine by me. Just needed to put his feet underneath him a little bit more, but when you put both hands down, that is a complete fall.
A low number for him, lower than he expected or hoped. Bouchouet also 13.7 for his floor. So, in third place, here in the last rotation, Oleg Vernayev. 0.7 of a point out of the lead of Sam Mikulik. He's about 0.3 of a point behind James Hall, who's in second.
And Oleg is capable of doing a lot of different things. I haven't seen him do his toughest stuff here in Milwaukee in training, but we'll see. Pretty good. Oh my goodness, and that's unfortunate and unusual. As I said, he's not doing his hardest gymnastics here. And that was a pretty big mistake. I don't think they'll call that a fall, but it was pretty close to one. Plenty of energy on that, though. Triple fall at the end. I'll tell you what, this rotation, finishing up on floor for the men, is also something that you don't like. It is, you are gassed at the end of the competition, and this is aerobically the most challenging routine.
Had to figure he had to be close to perfect to have a chance, and it wasn't.
You know, just started the competition off so well. First half of it.
So let's take a look at what happens at the end of this. He was definitely off, not enough rotation, and yeah, that's going to be close. That's either a half a point or a full point. Yeah.
Yeah, look on his face. He knew exactly where he stood and what took place. And so we'll wait for his score. He still got James Hall on high bar, and Sam Mikulik will be next to go on floor with the lead, trying to win this for the second time. So the number for Oleg Vernayev from that floor exercise, 12.766. He started this last rotation hoping to move up, catch James Hall, maybe even Sam McCulloch, but disappointing effort and number.
Without question. You see that red triangle, just way too many mistakes, and I'm sure from looking at the score, they took a full point on that, as I believe they should have.
So James Hall's got high bar still to come. Sam McCulloch has his floor exercise, and you've got Shane Wiskus also, who starts this last rotation. He was 1.234 points behind Vernayev out of third place. You never know.
Yeah, that's what we always say. You don't know the ending until the actual ending, and it's so important. No matter if you have a mistake earlier on in the competition, you can't give up till it's over.
Visualizing high bar routine to come and a floor exercise to come.
Definitely Sam's to win, though. Although James Hall is absolutely no slouch at all on high bar.
Now on high bar for Great Britain, James Hall.
Can do a very difficult routine. A lot of the same big releases that we saw Sam McCulloch do.
0.4 of a point off the lead of McCulloch going into this final rotation.
The big releases come right off the top. Generate a lot of speed here. Ooh. Wow, he got that bar really late on that second hand.
Okay.
And that is a very unfortunate mistake, and that really rings your bell, I'll tell you. He was definitely right there. He just misjudged where he put his hands on the bar.
See how close Sam McCulloch is. He heard it probably before he saw it.
Yep. So with that fall, Sam just, he could do a routine that he did when he was 12 years old and win this competition. Really late regrasp on that. Whole half a point off, that should be. Sad to see this happen because he's such a, he just plugs away. Double-double laid out. Step on the landing. Was really good today. He just had one slight miscalculation. The release was in the spot it needed to be, just didn't put his hands where they needed to go. Oftentimes, that's because you're not looking at the bar soon enough.
See that wry smile from McCulloch a moment ago? Having witnessed all of that. And now on floor.
So he's capable of doing a new mount right here, and he's going to do it. Double front with a half turn. Very nice. This is just a really difficult combination. 2.5 twists to double front.
Wow, perfection.
Another stuck landing. Sometimes you really want your athletes to think. But at this point, I hope he just goes and doesn't think. Another combination here. One flip with 3 twists, and he wins his second American Cup. Even with the stumbles at the end there, that should be well good enough for Sam McCulloch to end at the top of the podium.
His 5th trip to the American Cup, came oh so close last year. Won it back in 2014 and most likely closing it out with that.
Wasn't perfect days by any means.
But not satisfied.
No, and he shouldn't be because, you know, he wasn't perfect. And Nikita Nagorny, as we mentioned near the top of the show, the Russian current world all-around champion, he was supposed to be here. I don't think that Sam could have had the day that he had and come on top with him here, but you never know. But this is still a very big deal for Sam Mikulak. So this is first time he's ever done this in competition, I believe. Double front, half turnout. Might have done it at the Winter Cup, not quite sure.
And that next tumbling past him, as you mentioned, so difficult. So he does a round of 2.5 twists into a double front. Perfect landing.
Yeah,
a lot of people do those two skills separately, but to combine those, doing those back to back, that's what makes it so extremely difficult.
Just a little bit over-rotated on that, and what happened is he got on his heels. All of his weight was on his heels, and he had backward momentum, and it just caused him to take a couple more steps than he wanted to. But
plenty high enough with the number 14-3-3-3. He's going to win his 2nd American Cup. And James Hall with that problem on high bar, the number 12.4. So Vernayev moves ahead of him. Oleg, who led for much of the competition here, can end up behind Sam Mikulak. Don't forget, you still have Shane Wiskus, who's trying to move up and maybe capture 3rd place. He's medaled a couple of times at the Olympics already. Vernayev, the veteran. But it's Sam Mikulak, the 6-time U.S. all-around champ who wins. Standing by with Andrea.
All right, Terry, 2nd American Cup title for Sam, but the first in an Olympic year. How much more important does that make this title?
If anything, it's just a strong start for, you know, the rest of the competitions we have to come. Wasn't perfect by any means. I know there's a lot of mistakes today, but I think I just had, you know, the least bad day out of
So what are you happiest with? I mean, this is early in the season. In case no one's told you, we are on our way on the road to Tokyo.
I had no
you're
idea.
coming off the flu from last week. What are you happiest with?
I think I'm just happy I fought through. There was a lot of struggles throughout this entire competition, but never to give that 1-point deduction, stay on the event, and, you know, longevity played out for me today.
3rd Olympic cycle for you. Obviously, they're all different. What's the special challenge for this one for 2020?
This one's just, you know, making sure I stay in my own zone, stay in my bubble, and find my balance, because that's what I've learned over the past 2 cycles. I just got to find me.
Okay, we're going to start calling you Bubble Boy. Look out.
Hey, stop fine with that. Thank you.
Terry.
Hey, look, guys, we know when he's got his A game, he's one of the best in the world.
there's no question.
It's when the lights are on at the Olympics coming up. We'll see. All right, Shane Wiskus now in 4th after 5 rotations and would need just under 14, 13.935 to move up and grab that 3rd spot.
And it's a very big number, but Shane is very good on high bar. He can be exciting, too. Remember last summer at the national championships, he had that one-arm catch on one of his major releases.
And this has already been an impressive event for him, but boy, if he could do this, it would be huge. And all that confidence coming off his first appearance at the World Championships and his eyes set on Tokyo.
Here he goes. Pretty good. Got another one right here. Excellent. Great adjustment right there. Was a little closer than he wanted to be, but he just spotted the bar and put his hands exactly where they needed to go. Well, you said it, Terry. This could be a major feather in his cap. I'll tell you, you don't see a lot of athletes come out when they are so young and just rock the two biggest competitions they've ever been in.
Wow.
Given that wild card spot for the U.S. and made the most of it.
You know, and I think at this point right now, it's not about the score. It's not about the placement. It is about the way that he performed here today.
That's a tall order, 13.935.
It is. It's a very tall order. You know, he did the super hard releases, but the problem is, as he's reaching for the bar, I think we'll see one in a minute, his form kind of deteriorates a little bit. So this is the first one. Double back over the bar in a stretched position. But look at the legs right there. They come apart. Not bad, though. A little less than maybe I thought. Another one right here. This one also has that same leg separation, but this one that's coming up right here, this was what was most impressive to me. This shows that he is a veteran right here. He puts this not where he wants it to be. It's too close, no problem. He makes the adjustment.
And finishes with that same dismount that we've seen from so many. Double twisting, double back, laid out position. Good form in the air. Little bit of a pike down at the end if we're being picky. Of course, that hop, but what an incredible day for him.
That's fun, right?
You're making that decision, who goes on the Olympic team. Okay, that's still to come, but 13.733, so it's not enough, not far from it, but he goes into fourth place.
That was this is a huge win, though, for Shane Wiskus.
Yeah. Sam Mikulak, the overall win for the second time in his career. Oleg Vernayev into second place. And James Hall came right down to that last rotation. He runs out the top three. Tomorrow night, 5 Eastern, NBCSN, coverage of the Nastia Liukin Cup. Up next here, it's Monster Energy Supercross live from Daytona Beach. For Nastia, Tim, Andrea Joyce, the crew, I'm Terry Gannon. So long, everyone, from Milwaukee.